don't understand.
Someone seems to be searching for the moon.
I don't understand. Anyway, good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the conversation here on Lagos Television. Of course, it's the Friday edition, the last edition for the week. And of course, Adebimpe and I will be here, or are here already, to help you make some meaningful Friday morning in readiness for the weekend. Adebimpe, good
Readiness for the
morning.
last Friday, Ramadan.
I was just going to say that, Friday is Adebimpe's best day of the week. But again, it's Ramadan, so every day should actually be. Go back, Kokode.
Good morning, everyone. I am Adebimpe Omotayo. I want to use this opportunity to say, Joy,
Come back to work.
come back to work. But get well soon.
She has flew solo for how many days now?
For 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay.
No.
Tuesday,
Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay, so 2 days, 2.5 days.
2.5 days.
But I'm sure Joy will be back here on Monday. But again, so it's not easy taking care of children who've fallen ill and you don't break down as well. Go possible. It's not, and that's why I say women. Women are just superstars. Women can multitask. Women can do so many things at the same time. And you have to take care of yourself. Okay, Joy, get well soon. And hopefully we'll see you on Monday. Right. Of course, let's get into the show this morning. Let's start by taking our news point. The first news point today is on terror attacks, where President Tinubu approves fresh military hardware after security talks. And the story says President Bola Tinubu has approved the procurement of new equipment for the armed forces and other security agencies to enhance the fight against terrorism and banditry across the country. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, has disclosed. Musa, who briefed State House correspondents after a nearly 2-hour security meeting at the Presidential Villa Abuja on Thursday, said the President remained committed to supporting security agencies in their operations against insurgents. In his quotes, the President has promised more equipment for us to be able to protect the nation, and we assure victory, end of quote. However, Musa did not specify the type or quantity of equipment approved by the President. Rather, he explained that the meeting, which was the first attended by the new Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, since his appointment, was convened to brief the President on the current security situation following recent attacks on military formations. He went ahead to say that the briefing was necessary to ensure the President had accurate information about ongoing operations, noting that media interpretation sometimes did not reflect the full picture. The Defense Minister appealed to Nigerians not to be discouraged by reports of attacks, assuring that terrorists and bandits were suffering more casualties than forces. Musa acknowledged that Nigeria had lost courageous officers and men in recent operations, describing the casualties as highly regrettable. Let me end with this last paragraph. The former Chief of Defense Staff said, and I quote, okay, well, that's part of what we said. That's it from the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, speaking on Mr. President's commitment to ensuring that issues around insecurity are dealt with decisively. And I like the fact that he acknowledged that men, of the force were actually dying, lives were being lost in this fight. And, sometimes when you see some videos, they are quite painful that officers who have staked their lives for the country didn't make it back home from the theater of war. These are things that are avoidable. But again, we know that when things like this don't happen, there are casualties. So as there are casualties with the officers, so they've also reported that there are casualties with the insurgents. But again, no matter what, we do not want to lose our gallant officers. They were recruited to save lives, to save Nigeria, to protect the territorial integrity of the country. So losing them again, losing them to this fight is demoralizing, not only to Nigerians, but to younger officers who, if at all, looked up to them as commanding officers. And so when one life is lost, it goes a long way, again, to either make or mar how other officers will respond to these wars. So it's important that Mr. President and his team, and it's also important that they tell Mr. President the right information. They tell him what he needs to know, because oftentimes you come back to blame the media for showcasing some of these things. But the question is, are you also telling Mr. President what he needs to know, what he needs to hear? Because that, again, will form the magnitude of his reactions to some of these things. So it's important that they also brief him correctly and give him the right information that he needs to know.
Just to add, a little to what all you have said, I must commend Christopher Musa for not, hiding any form of information.
Yeah.
He acknowledged that, Nigeria is also losing soldiers, and that, they were also gaining some kind of they were kind of winning the fight, against these terrorists, kidnappers, bandits, whatever they choose to call themselves. I like the fact that, he said it as it is. And of course, when you were reading, you said it was the first meeting for a new Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu. Okay, I'll go straight to my story. UK to tighten security during Tinubu's state visit. Security will be tightened in and around the royal residence next week as King Charles hosts President Bola Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi Tinubu at Windsor Castle. The visit, scheduled for March 18 and 19, is the highest level of diplomatic engagement hosted by the British monarchy. Thames Valley Police said in a statement that extensive security measures will be in place throughout the town, including a temporary expansion of the airspace restriction over Windsor. A permanent airspace restriction already exists around Windsor Castle, but the exclusion zone will be extended on March 18 from 7. The story is just about security, putting security in place ahead of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's visit to the UK, to Prince Charles in the UK. And it's not because, it's President Tinubu that is going. It is normal security protocol, right?
Yeah.
So because
Nigerians, a president is visiting
yes,
anyway,
it's normal.
so
It's normal security protocol for a visiting president. So Nigerians, they are insulting that. Are they afraid that they want to kill?
well, so again, it's just except if you're reading out of context or for people who would always take things out of context.
Yeah.
So the security is not all over UK. It's just at the Windsor Castle,
Windsor Castle,
where, of course, the visit will be happening. So, and like you said, it's routine for any visitor at all, especially high-ranking visitor. President Tinubu is the president of a country. Even if we do not hold him in high esteem here in Nigeria, is, held in high esteem in other places because he's the president of a country. And all respect will be accorded to him as such. So, well, the visit is next week, and we do hope that Mr. President and his wife will have a great time at the Windsor Castle. All right, let's take the third story this morning, which is Senate to pass 2026 appropriation bill on March 31, confirms key appointments. The President of the Senate of Nigeria, Godswill Akpabio, has assured that the Senate will pass the 48.472 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill on March 31, following a brief adjournment for the Salah break. Speaking before the adjournment, Akpabio noted that standing committees will continue work during the recess, particularly ongoing budget defenses and coordination with the Committee on Appropriations. It said, and I quote, "I hope the leader will put pressure on the Committee on Appropriations to harmonize the report of the 2026 appropriation by that date. This is so when we resume, we can try our best to pass the budget without requiring further concurrence or harmonization. Leadership must work together to ensure everything is in order. The House of Representatives has already adjourned to conclude budget processes and will also meet on March 31. On that day, we hope to pass the national budget in tandem with the Senate," end of quote. Meanwhile, the Senate confirmed Rear Admiral Jamila Abubakar Sadiq retired as National Commissioner representing the Northeast at the Independent National Electoral Commission. The confirmation follows the Committee on Electoral Matters report presented by Senator Simon Lalong, APC Plateau State, which recommended her based on her qualifications, experience, performance, and integrity. The Senate also confirmed the appointment of Osman Dankigari as non-career ambassador and Ismail Yusuf as chairman of NACON, as well as presented by Senator Bello Abubakar of the APC. So those were the nominees confirmed by the Senate, and come March 31st, hopefully the Senate will, well, maybe both chambers will then pass the 2026 appropriation bill. And again, from what they had promised, you know, the new budget year should start on April 1. Yeah. And I figured that this actually should have been passed so that all of the T's can be crossed and I's dotted before April 1st. But again, March 31 is the last day in the month of March. And hopefully by the 1st of April, the new budget will be in action, and all of the things that we need to do as a country will then move forward. So that's it, and congratulations to the appointees that were confirmed by the Senate. Okay, that's it on the news points this morning. Let's go on to the X platform and take a look at what's trending on the X platform this morning. We're looking at King Michi. And of course, she released a video apologizing to Sheyi Tinubu, Ooni of Ife, and VDM. You know, well, hopefully maybe this public apology will put things in the right perspective and allow sleeping dogs to lie. But I think, again, we just need to be more responsible, especially when it comes to the social media space. There are a lot of young people who are looking up to influencers, who are looking up to people like Michi. And when they see certain things, they see it as a norm and they want to try it. I just hope that, you know, these things will maybe put things in the right perspective. But again, I think sometimes if people are not dealt with decisively, I don't think we learn. I don't think we learn. But maybe our apology, you know, will go a long way in letting sleeping dogs lie. Maybe.
Yeah. King Michi was quite out of line, you know, when she did what she did. If she knew she couldn't defend it herself, she should have just gone off social media instead of doing what she did, swallowing hypo. That's even if she did. And you know what really, you know, broke the camel's back was when some young people were now using it as a challenge, as content to drink hypo. What was that all about?
I don't know. I don't know if they really understand what that substance is and why they thought in their wildest imaginations that that was a content in the first place. And, you know, I understand the company itself has also tried many avenues to dissuade people from thinking in that line. I mean, there are some things that you can't even find the right words or the right mode to pass on these things. It's just, it doesn't speak well, especially for people who are in public spaces. You know, when she first, I didn't even know who she was. But the first time I heard about her, when she disrespected the owner, and I'm like, who is this person? And then, you know, that trending and all of that happened, and I'm like, wait a minute. Is it that this girl does not have family? Or is it that, because this craze for content, I don't know how, the level that people are now taking it into, that you can showcase anything. You can bring anything online. And like they always say, the internet never forgets. There will come a time that these things will come back and haunt you in the behind. I just hope that people will learn and, you know, just if you're tired, take a break.
They should just go off social
Take a
media.
break.
You know.
Nobody would berate you for taking a break. And then when you're ready to come back, everybody would applaud you and say, welcome back. Rather than
Exactly. Well, I
proving
mean,
stunts that are just not...
at least she has come out to apologize. I just hope people will still give her that respect like they used to because of her philanthropic activities. I just hope so because I would say it as it is. She messed up. She messed up.
Okay. Oh. Anyways, you can go onto the X platform this morning to take a further read on why King Michi is trending and whether or not her apology is able to, just persuade those she has wronged and put her back in the positive limelight, that she was. Okay, that's it on our opening segment of the program. We'll take a quick break. When we return, part one of our conversation will be here. And today, what are we taking a look at? Okay, so it's Ramalens, like they've said, and so many, religious and gospel activities, are ongoing. So our first conversation this morning would tilt towards gospel music and, its impact on, everybody who listens to such music. This conversation is after the break.